Got a formal warning at work for selling a car. It's a little bit of an anger rant, but thought all y'all would enjoy. So basically, I just recently got hired to work at a car dealership that has a car wash area, and I'm a detailer that works for $12 an hour, and it was the end of my shift yesterday. I had about an hour left. There's no cars, nothing to do, nothing to clean, and a gentleman walked up to me and was talking to me. Just general guy on guy talk, and he explained he wanted to buy a new vehicle for his 18-year-old daughter, and he was thinking to buy a big-ass pickup truck, and I was like, unless your daughter is a farm girl or a construction girl, she's not going to use it, so how about getting her a nice hybrid car? It has really good gas mileage, they're about the same price. And he says, yeah sure, and he goes, I'll buy one. So we go get a representative, and he buys the car. I thought I was going to get rewarded, maybe get a little bit of extra cash because I got to sell a car. No, instead the boss comes over to me and yells and screams at me that I am not allowed to talk to customers. I am to never talk to customers, and this is my final warning. If I do anything like that again, I am fired. I'm on thin ice apparently. Shrug, life's a bitch. Guess I gotta stay in my lane. Thanks everyone. I'm overwhelmed by all the responses and can't respond to every, but I read them. And I love everyone who wrote something. It's all good mix of comedy and advice. And to let you all know, I have been looking at new jobs. Also, sorry everyone. My brain doesn't do the greatest with writing and such. I am sorry if there are grammar issues and such. And I'll try to fix. You now have car sales experience. Buy a cheap suit and go to the competition. Wow. Time for some malicious compliance. Customer approaches. Curl up into a ball and tell them you're not allowed to talk to customers. Make sure you got another gig lined up, of course. The reason you got yelled at, wrongly emo, is that you talked the father out of a vehicle they make all the profits on into one they might break even with. Your manager is a dipshish 17 though, because you did a great job putting a customer at ease and walking him towards the person that could help him. I worked as a lot tech all throughout high school. After a while I started to know the cars pretty well too. You got yelled at cause you sold him on what he wants, but the shady salesman didn't get to nickel and dime him over options and packages and warranties. I got asked after I turned 18 to turn to sales, but never did. I knew dudes at the time who were 23 going on 45 with all the stress and shit they had to make sales. Some months they'd make $4,000 a month, others $300. No thanks. You sold him something he could fully take advantage of instead of the dealership selling him something overpriced so they could take advantage of him. Those places are full with scummy people. Any place that works off commission doesn't have your best interest in mind. Time to apply for a sales position somewhere else though. Did you know that even if you were able to convince a customer to buy the car, you would get nothing in return? Do less or equal as what you are paid for. You need to quit this job and apply to a different dealership as a dealer. Because 1. This place you're currently at sounds toxic AF and you're definitely not getting paid enough. And 2. It sounds like you actually have a knack for selling cars. Remind him next time you'll just send the customer to another dealership if a customer asks for your opinion. Follow his orders to the T. Pointedly ignore any customer questions. If they ask why, tell them, what you did is fantastic. Everybody in any business is also in sales. You should have been celebrated and taken out to lunch. It's too bad your boss is an a-hole. Get it in writing like others here have said, then malicious compliance while you look for a job with a less toxic atmosphere. Your boss is pissed because a real salesman would have sold the truck for much more money, not talk them down to a sensible car. I would quit immediately. Yelling and screaming at a human being for anything work-related or really anything in general is abusive and just disgusting. You did good. Your boss is a douchebag. I've worked for dealerships. Depending on the truck and the hybrid, I think they could have made a hell of a lot more money on the truck. Even if both vehicles cost the same, a lot of trucks have upgrade options that can almost double the initial price of the vehicle. They don't give a fuck how happy the customer or his daughter is with your advice and consideration. Which is just a glimpse at how horrible greedy people can be. Sorry op. Thanks for looking out for the environment as well. Thumbs up. Sales are easy when you're allowed to care about a customer and treat them like you're their consultant, not a salesman. But I can imagine that sales is a cutthroat business full of mind-fucking quotas and pushy sales managers. Only once in buying dozens of new cars have we experienced a salesman like you. My wife got a great car. We got a fair deal and were very happy. When it came time to buy another one, that salesman had left the business. We tried for months to reconnect, but never found him again. I told multiple people how well we were treated. Some others used him and were pleased. But by the time we were ready for our next car, he had moved on. Too bad. I'd buy from him in a flash just because of the excellent treatment. Quit. Do what you think is best. But I'd poke around to see if there are detailing places that would hire you. You'll make a lot more money. And will no longer have to deal with that fuckstick anymore. I'm aware of some mobile detailers that charge $100 $200 an hour. The labor rate is less. But at that charge they pay $20 or more an hour. Bet my nuts he's pissed you didn't upsell him to the most expensive bullshit they have. Haha, time to go across the street to a competitor, homie. I'd be training you as a salesman. You took initiative, won over the customer and closed a deal. I've never understood that this is a shit job with shit wages, that it's hard to get someone decent and willing to stay at. Better treat any good worker I can find like shit over stupid stuff to prove what a tough guy the first am. Then whine and cry that no one wants to work anymore when that guy leaves and I can't replace him. Type of manager. Get a real car sales job at a competitor. If you'd ever like to be in sales, add this to your mental resume as your origin story in job interviews. Nearly every job you'll ever do will involve sales of some kind. I had never really considered sales until I realized who I am as a person was naturally geared toward it. I sold a car on accident while working as a detailer and really enjoyed the satisfaction. Now I'm trying to find that satisfaction somewhere I can prove myself and be better appreciated for it. You dropped these. They had more margin profit on the pickup truck. That's why you pissed them off, I'm 100 sure. Guess what? You now have sales experience. Buy a cheap suit and go hit up the dealership down the road for a job. Your boss is a greedy turdwookie. Find another gig that actually pays something worth getting out of bed for and give him a 2-day notice. Sorry boss. 2-day is my last day. GFYS. He's mad because he didn't get to sell some expensive truck with a top-tier kit. Instead, if a reasonable hybrid car. Best to find a better job. Dealerships are a massive ripoff. I'm now sitting on 14 years in auto experience. 4 of those as a dealer principal. From parts to mechanics to detailers. If they had a customer ready to buy, they could bring that customer to me. And they would get the commission. Simple as that. It incentivized people to sell to friends and family. Made salespeople greet everyone who came to the lot. And if anyone sold a vehicle and enjoyed it, saves me hiring a new salesperson when inevitably one leaves to become a real estate agent. Your manager is an idiot.